Hello scientists, thanks for tuning in. This video is all about models used in science and why they are important. So what is a model? If you are thinking of supermodels on the runway, this is not what we're talking about. A scientific model is a representation of a complex object or process. In other words, a model is like a copy of the real thing, and you can study it when you can't really study the real thing easily. Models are especially useful for studying objects or systems that are really, really big or really, really small. Can you think of some examples of models? Take a moment to pause this recording and brainstorm models that you have seen or used before. Here are some examples of models that you may have seen or even made or used before. Maybe you have some models of airplanes or cars. Maybe you've seen or made a model of the solar system, which are helpful because our solar system is so big and difficult to see and study all at once. Perhaps you have model trains at home. DNA, our genetic code, is really tiny, so models are great for studying strands of DNA. This is a model of an animal cell, which are very small, so models are helpful for seeing all of the individual parts. Even Legos can be used to make models. Now, here are some examples of models that you might not think of as models at first, but they are. For example, a picture is a model. It is a representation or copy of what the picture was taken of. So pictures are models. Globes and maps are also models of actual land, making them easier to see and study, since most people can't take a plane, a helicopter, or a spaceship just to see what parts of Earth look like. Diagrams, graphs, and drawings are also models. Computer models and computer programs are models too. For example, climate and weather can be very difficult to study when looking at the entire country or globe at once. So scientists use computer models to predict weather and climate. Even mathematical equations are models because they represent mathematical processes. So why are models so important in science? The main way that they are so helpful is allowing us to study things that we can't easily observe for one reason or another. Maybe the object or system we want to study is super large, like the solar system. Our solar system is huge, and students can't just go into outer space to view and study the solar system. We rely on physical models, diagrams, and pictures to be able to study it, since we can't really study the real thing. They're also helpful for studying very small things, like cells of plants and animals. Cells are very, very small, and we can't see them with our naked eye. Very few people have microscopes at home, but even then, you would need one that is super powerful in order to see all of the different parts of cells in detail. Instead, it is much easier to study pictures and diagrams of cells so that we can clearly see all of the parts. Models are also very helpful for observing things that are kind of complicated. Scientists can also make models and test out ideas without risks. For example, let's say some scientists built a model of a city with buildings, roads, sidewalks, cars, parks, rivers, and more. They build it to be as realistic as possible, but just smaller, shrunken down version of the real thing. Maybe they have some concerns about the city, like how it can handle flooding or extreme weather, and they want to test out some possible solutions to those problems before diving in with the solutions on the actual city. They can test out their ideas on the realistic miniature town first to see if their ideas will work. Maybe they simulate extreme weather or flooding, and then they try to solve that problem on the model. If they do and the plan works really well, then they can move forward with their plans on the actual city without fear of it not working or messing up the town. If their test on the model does not work or does not turn out like they had hoped, then they can come up with different solutions and try those on the model first instead until they find something that works. This allows them to save time, money, and resources because they already tested out their ideas on the model to be more sure that it will work before trying it on the actual city.